What is good, everybody? We are live. This is the Hangout. Welcome. Welcome to the 7th episode, I believe, of the Hangout. Hope you're all doing well. Let me know if the audio is okay. I would appreciate it. Let's just discuss all this shit that went down, fam. For those who don't know what the Hangout is, it's the second show, complimentary to the Company of Gamers podcast. It's a little more just chill, a little more off the cuff, spontaneous, and random. But it's where we really we can be as fanboy as we want. We can just vent and just talk and all that good stuff. It's probably where most of the entertainment comes. So I would love all you guys' thoughts in the chat. Let everyone know how you feel about tonight's show, how the Xbox Bethesda showcase went down for you. Was it a flop? Was it a hot mess? Was it a soggy wet dog turd? Or was it a slight improvement? Was it a dry dog turd? Was it a relatively okay showing? Or was it the best thing you've seen in 8 years? God bless you, Phil Spencer. Let me know, because flipping heck, guys, I've got my own thoughts about today's show. And to summarize it, you can summarize it like this: if you lower your expectations, you will never be disappointed. You may even be surprised. And I think so many people had very, very few expectations, had very low expectations about this show. But anyway, let's introduce whoever's on the panels currently. More will no doubt come as time progresses. We've got the awesome Akira. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, man. Like I said, I just woke up. It was I fell asleep after what game was that? Jeez, I don't even remember it anymore. I fell asleep, I think, in the middle of the show. Then and I think I fell asleep after Minecraft. No, Minecraft's, whatever you call that Minecraft game that they just made, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I fell asleep after that. That was the last game that I remember. And then I just looked up the TL and I saw Starfield clips and I saw this game Wulong, and that one caught my interest.
I'm looking at this gameplay right now, bro, and it's cyberpunk. It's just giving me cyberpunk vibes right now.
Unfortunately for, the Wulong one, the only game to interest me, it's the only one without gameplay. It's such... The timing is just incredible, man. It's the only one that gameplay. It's the only game that interested me. Starfield, I saw some clips. Yes, it does remind me of Cyberpunk a lot. I can't lie about that because I'm a big Cyberpunk. I was a big Cyberpunk 2077 fan, and I was on this boat. That's why I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, mate, you were all in the cyberpunk hype. You were like,
yeah, I was all in. Yeah, I was on the
wake
cyberpunk
the fuck up,
hype.
samurai. We got a city to burn, and
I got burned real hard on that one. So
wake the fuck up, samurais. We got Akira to burn. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, when I saw Starfield, when I saw the clips after I woke up, yeah, I genuinely thought I was watching a cyberpunk clip at first, especially with the.
We'll definitely get into this, Akira. Let's introduce the rest of the panel first, and then we'll definitely get into this because I want to hear you guys all wax lyrical about your thoughts and how you felt about the show. We've got the awesomeness Maximus Wilhelm. How you doing, my brother?
Hey guys, I'm doing.
Oh, you're really quiet. Hold on, let me sort that out. Why are you so quiet?
I had my mic a bit further away from my mouth.
Charlie Sheen, activate. Come on. Bring your mic closer. I've got you as loud as I can get you.
Is that better?
That's a little bit better. That'll do.
Oh man, but like, what is it always? Either it's too loud or it's too quiet. It's never really in
It's never good
between.
enough. Just never good enough, Will.
Well,
Missed you, buddy. We missed you on the last show. How you doing? You okay?
you guys as well. I'm doing fine. Sorry I couldn't be on last
It's all
episode.
good.
Yeah, it's all good. Last week I got very sick. Like I'm talking diarrhea and
All right.
throwing up.
People
It was pretty
still
awful.
can't hear you. Sorry. Is there a way you can bring your mic closer? I've literally got you as loud as I can get you.
Uh, I
There
mean
we
that,
go. There
that's
we go.
that's close as I can get my mic up. Is that better?
Yep, that's perfect, mate. I feel like we're in your mouth now. We are in your mouth.
That's fantastic. That's all I ever wanted. Uh, what about the chat? Can you guys hear me now?
I'm sure they can. Yeah, everybody's saying better. Yeah, Salty's saying better.
Salty, is that audio quality good for you? Um, where was I? Yeah, again, sorry I wasn't there last episode. I got very sick that day. You know, I'm
Don't worry, brother.
talking diarrhea and throwing up. It wasn't pretty at all, but just like just like Wolverine, I was able to just regenerate after a couple of days, and now I'm
Hmm.
back kicking. And I was at first hesitant joining today's episode because, um, we seem to be mainly talking about the Bethesda Xbox showcase, and I didn't really caught that live because I don't know, I was doing something else. Then I sort of like looked through. There are always people on YouTube that put up timelines. What games got showcased, and I
Yeah.
just quickly looked through it all, and it didn't really blow me away. Like I was just meh.
Look at
I was
Celine.
just-
They got Celine in Starfield, everybody. Hold on. Wait for it. Oops, not. Hold on. There we go. Celine. Look at her. In all her glory. That's hilarious. Celine from
This is-
Returnal.
Oh,
Like you
no.
think about it, you could literally play as Celine in Returnal in this role-playing space adventure. That's hilarious. Shout out to Saltiest Gaming in the chat, The Unknown, DE, Twisted Sin, Ice Queen, What's Up Dawn, OT, DE, Jonathan Martinez, Doomsayer, What's Good Brother, The Unknown, Bender of Strings. What is good? So many
Yeah.
cool people in the chat. Toolman. What's
Did
good,
you guys
brother?
just also woke up, man? And that showcase was a great lullaby, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I was
It's hilarious.
I had a great nap.
Wilhelm, carry on. Sorry, brother.
Sorry,
I interrupted
sorry, Will.
you. I'm so sorry. Carry on.
Well, I was hesitant joining today because like I've said, I've watched the showcase. Just clicked through the games very quickly, and I didn't really have much of an opinion on it. It was just very meh. I wasn't all that, wowed. I mean, I'd first asked myself, why should I watch an Xbox showcase in the first place? And I realized, well, you got a PC now, and everything that comes on Xbox also comes on PC. So, well, let's check it out. And what can I say? I mean, I think the game Scorn looks really cool. It's a game I've been following for quite a while because it was out there for a very long time. And I think it looks cool. I like that disgusting David Cronenberg world and all that. It looks cool, but everything else is just, what can I say? Starfield, I mean, it's okay, I think. I mean, it's just like as you pointed out, it's a bit like Cyberpunk, and also just like I've seen from the gameplay, it just kind of turns me off how there are like no gore effects when you kill somebody. I mean, that's maybe because I've been delving way too much into the boomer shooter territory,
Yeah.
where everything I kill jibs. But that's awesome. I want things to jib. I mean, when you shoot a guy with a shotgun, you shouldn't be just lying there. No, you should be
Oh,
like
mate.
be a meaty, bloody pile
Just
of
wait till
something.
Callisto Protocol for that bad boy.
Absolutely,
Oh mate,
absolutely.
that still blows my mind. That Callisto Protocol,
Like, like that guy, he just lies there. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
Like he drank a cup of coffee and thought to himself, well, now I shit out all the diarrhea. I might as well go to sleep. Well, that's not how it works. When you kill a guy with a shotgun, he's supposed to be there and spaghetti bolognese sauce. I mean, so that didn't really impress me all that much. Oh yeah, because I wasn't there last week, I wanted to also quickly say, for one, I thought State of Play was amazing. Like,
Mhm.
holy hell, that show was amazing. Like, I went in there with no expectations. I actually swore to myself never to watch State of Play again because they were always garbage for some reason. Always showing, at least to me, very irrelevant stuff. But then, I just laid there, I had nothing to do, so I thought to myself, oh fuck it, let's turn it on and see. And then it's like Sony wanted to redeem themselves so hard for the shit shows that they delivered on the last
Mhm.
State of Plays. So they made this very amazing one. It's just amazing. Like every game they showcased was a straight banger.
Big
So
facts.
so they get my props for that. Also, wanted to mention that here real quickly as well. I wanted to apologize for uh calling George Broussard a fat bastard on our on our episode, our comeback episode. It was just plain unprofessional, really uncalled for. It was just saying something mean for the sake of being funny, I guess, but it just was nothing more but just a, m- a rude comment that shouldn't have been said. So I wanted to apologize for that.
Bro, you're such a
And
beautiful guy, man. Honestly,
thank
such
you.
a beautiful guy. And hey, listen, yeah, I'm pretty certain that I'm like 99.9% certain that he will never even listen to this channel. So
He blocked me, so
unless we get so big, we're like, I know, Moriarty level big, IGN level big. I doubt we'll ever get a notice by him.
in my
But
heart, we are more relevant than IGN.
but yeah, I agree. At least we actually speak opinion and not flipping chasing our wallets. By the way, it says a lot
Salty's,
about you, Will. It says a lot about you, honestly.
thank you. Salty's asking
Yeah.
who's a fat bastard. I called George Broussard, who was one of the OG creators of Duke Nukem, a fat bastard. Just I mean, if you want like more reference and context to that, watch the DNF episode, which
Uh,
half of the viewers turned off, by the way, when that came out. So thanks for that. But for that, sorry. It was just unprofessional. It was just rude, and I should have known better.
I just
And
want to
also on that
before. Sorry, carry on, Will.
on that very quick note, that's like the last thing. You guys, please follow the restoration project. Like I've predicted, there's already a very very passionate group of people working on the completion of the 2001 Duke Nukem Forever build, and they're doing amazing progress so far. Like we're talking about not just like little things, like adding different skins for the eagle. Some people did the golden eagle of Duke. They gave him a silver eagle. But also like major things, like they fix NPC soft locks that could occur to the levels. NPCs that are crucial for progression. They fixed some of the soft locks in that department. They added some of the soundtrack back into the levels. They added enemies. They also worked on source ports as well. It's like huge progress has been made uh, in that game, and I'm just very very stoked to see how these guys are going to just fully flesh out and realize those visions that we're in the middle of just be getting birth to in that build. And I'm just so glad to see that thing taking off as much as it did.
Yeah, facts. Um, Yeah, definitely follow. Keep up to date with the Duke Nukem, the Forever 2001 project. They're trying to finish the game that was cut and abandoned, and they're trying to bring it to life. Dedicated modding team. Modders are honestly like the amount of talent in the modding community. How are all these guys not snatched up by developers? I know CD Projekt Red have kind of turned their attention to the modding team, but to the modding community. But
Bethesda.
yeah, they need more. Bethesda just let them work for free and finish their games. Flipping terrible. But there's so much talent in the modding community, fam. So much intelligent people who know code inside and out. It's crazy. Just wanna introduce the rest of the panel. But first, before I do, want to give a shout out to Harry Ballsack, or should I say Harry Balzac? I think that guy has me blocked on Twitter. I love it. So shout out to him. The Unknown. Shout out to you, sir. Saltiest Gaming. What's good, my brother? Buck Roger. Absolute legend. Love that guy. Twisted Sin. It's great to see you all. Shout out to everybody, man. You're all awesome. Compost Smurf, good to see you here as well. PlayStation Trophy Channel. He says, where are the big hitters this year for Xbox now? I wait till 2023 to get Series X, as I do like RPG. So defo play Starfield, but thought this show was going to be a big show. Was not. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that PTC, and we're definitely... I'm kind of in a similar boat to you there, fam, except I don't think I'm going to be buying an Xbox Series X anytime soon. Stick to my PC. But yeah, let's introduce the rest. OT, how are you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. I just sorry guys, I'm still on baby duty, so
No problem.
forgive me if you hear the baby at any point. But can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah, that show was for me. That show was very underwhelming, very underwhelming. And I remember I had said this. Xbox has not yet reached the PlayStation of Uncharted 2, and today it is very clear, because all of Bethesda by itself cannot amount to Insomniac. I'd rather have Insomniac than all of Bethesda. There's nothing I saw that made me think, let me rush out and get an Xbox. And in fact, somebody said, I've forgotten his name, damn, but he said, for them to show Starfield running at 24 frames per second, looking like a No Man's Sky clone, that's an embarrassment.
It ain't good. David Jaffe, shout out to him. He went ham on the Xbox showcase. He uploaded a 7-minute video of him just absolutely slating them.
And this is showing me that most of these things look cel-shaded. They look like the budget is clearly much, much lower than what PlayStation is using. And this is the difference between going to the cinema and going to watch a movie on Netflix. There's a gulf in quality, and it is undeniable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, facts.
But OT, they're preparing for the next generation.
Xbox is, I think they're getting out of the hardware industry. That showcase, imagine waiting so many years, not releasing games to show that. That was an embarrassment. In fact, that was a statement that Jim must stay in his position. I don't want to fail. Oh, sorry, guys.
No, all good. OT's got to go tend to his baby girl, so he'll be ducking in and out whenever he's needed, guys. But that's absolutely no problem at all. I'm just kind of zooming in on this car model, guys. It looks like it's taken straight out of Forza Horizon 4. I don't want to sound Forza Horizon 5. I don't want to sound like an absolute fanboy, but guys, I'm just calling it as it is. I feel like they focused on all the wrong things with the Forza Motorsport gameplay reveal, but we'll get into that. Let's introduce my man Retro. How are you doing, my dude? You okay?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Underwhelmed and slightly disappointed, but with some good things to look forward to.
Yeah, I'd say that's a very balanced summary.
Forza was my personal highlight. Now, the reason for that is, I love car games. I love cars.
Facts.
Good to see that back. But honestly, there wasn't a whole lot there that I would buy. I mean, you're talking literally Starfield, Diablo, and Forza at the minute for me. And even then, Starfield looked ropey, man.
Yeah, bro.
Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be playing it. But
I'll play it.
yeah,
I wanna.
to be. Sorry.
No, go on. Carry on.
Just for that to supposedly have been releasing this year, it doesn't look like it was ready.
No, it really doesn't. I want to summarize Starfield. Quick time.
I want to say this right. Just one thing. People are telling me that there's something hype about the over 100 I forgot what it. Something 100 and then 1,000 planets, right? That shit just reminds me of 16 times the detail. 16 times the detail. That's what it reminds me of. And yeah, man. You know what? Good luck with that shit, right?
So
I'm gonna tell people.
But when people, I mean, hilarious memes kind of being brought out right now on Twitter about Starfield, guys, and I'm going to show you one of them. It's just here. Hold on. Look at this. I love it. Hello Games. Remember when they went gold and they showed the disc? Well, flipping, it was a Starfield CD. I mean, literally, No Man's Sky has, show me the difference between No Man's Sky Day 1 and Starfield. Yeah, you've got ship customization in Starfield, and I'd probably argue there is a more robust procedural generation algorithm going on there with the planets and stuff, and the planets look beautiful, long distance, beautiful vistas. They've definitely overhauled the creation engine to handle LOD, long distance visual rendering. But then when you look at everything else, it looks very Fallout-y, but it's kind of like No Man's Sky with a Zack Snyder filter. That's kind of how I feel about it. And
terrible popping too.
Yeah, terrible popping. And on top of all of that, it's got no multiplayer. So all of that customization, your ability to make your ship look how you want, which is arguably like my favorite feature of Starfield that I've seen. That's kind of unique to Starfield that No Man's Sky hasn't yet implemented, though it does allow for other things. There's no multiplayer, so it's like, well, how much of that customization will keep players engaged whilst they're like freaking Matt Damon in The Martian on their Todd, on their Todd Howard, flipping
16 times the detail.
Yeah. Oh, this is 64 times the detail. Will this is 64 times, brother?
Oh,
no.
sorry.
So this is what they said, right? Over 100 systems and 1,000 planets. Again, man, that's like 16 times the detail. Todd Howard is a fucking magician with words, right?
Yeah.
He is so good at,
At selling you bullshit.
For some reason, guys, I had the Company of Gamers wall up, not the Hangout wall. I apologize.
He is so good, man. He has a way with his words to to make bullshit sound so good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
He could be literally standing there, pointing at the pile of dog shit, and make it to you the most attractive fucking thing on the planet.
I'm gonna say it like this, right? Phil Spencer and Todd Howard definitely belong with each other. They just suit each other because just the same damn politicians when it comes to talking about gaming. It's the same goddamn.
Let's be real though. There are some drastic improvements with Starfield from a visual perspective
Of
to
course.
to Skyrim and Fallout. The most noticeable for me are the volumetrics and the draw distance scaling. They've clearly gone to town to make vistas look attractive. They never looked attractive in Fallout, and I would argue they struggled to look quite attractive in Skyrim. But here, this shot here, right then, that there's a sense of scale that hasn't been in the other games on the Creation Engine. So they've definitely improved things. I think the lighting is beautiful. The way it hits the geometry on the ground, though, is questionable. It still gives me Fallout vibes. The way the flora looks and the kind of the rocky terrain looks up close. But at a distance, I think they've done a solid job here. It's definitely a world I can get lost in. But
Nah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, right? Because even if I got a good nap, I still felt like my time was wasted. So nah, man, I'm not gonna kumbaya this shit.
Yeah, I'm not being kumbaya here. I'm definitely just calling it as I see it. But OT, carry on. Sorry, bro.
No problem. What I noticed,
go ahead, OT.
There are improvements to the engine because those vistas looked better than Fallout and the like. But what I found very interesting is that, number one, there was hardly any vegetation, and yet it still was having frame rate issues below 30 frames. We are just experiencing Horizon Forbidden West at 60 frames per second, looking like it's 4K. This is why I'm saying the showcase. Phil should have made sure this showcase cements Xbox as the most powerful console platform. But what it has done, it's reminded me of PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, where you'd get these games like God of War that show you the power of PS4 Pro, and there was nothing on the One X, except this time it is debatable which system is more powerful, and yet you're getting their most cherished first-person console exclusive for Series X being choppy and looking underwhelming. I think maybe they should have delayed showing Starfield even further.
I just saw the facial animations, and boy, that's rough.
I just want to say, right, the Atlas thing, right? There's really nothing to rant about Atlas, because I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's Atlas, they're one of those studios that makes the weirdest fucking decisions in the game industry. I never understand them. Fucking Persona landed on Xbox before a Switch. I cannot believe it myself, but it happened. It's like Atlas don't want money, or Microsoft paid them a lot of money. That's all I can guess, man. There's no rant to make here. It's Atlas. But yeah, sorry. Continue, bro.
Just saying, like, I'm just very blown away. I mean, more like surprised. Like, I'm just confused because I don't know how many teraflops the Xbox One X has again. Was it like 18? Did it had like 18 teraflops or something?
No. 8? No. 8? No.
12. No, what's
12.
it again? I don't know. I don't remember.
12.
I'm sorry.
12.
I'm sorry, Kira.
T-flops. 12 T-flops.
12. Okay, 12. It was like 12
Okay.
T-flops. I don't know, but it was like a lot, and supposedly had like more than the PS5, but nothing that I've seen yet, nothing that I've seen from Xbox's game studio has like managed to, like, I don't see that 12 teraflops anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not seeing that anywhere. Like this is where I just asked myself, this game, what kind of people like work there? Like, do they have people who understand the hardware? Do they have people that have like some sort of knowledge or competence with what they're working with? Like, I mean, I don't want to sound too negative. Because Xbox is a part of my childhood in a way. like I've said, I've played Grand Theft Auto Vice City with my cousin on the original Xbox and Batman Arkham City on the 360. But seeing that stuff is just, it's just, I'm beyond confusion. My confusion is beyond words at this point. Like you have 12 teraflops, you have like that hardware that is supposedly so amazing and so great, but like the result of that, like you don't really showing me the beauty that you're advertising, that you're promising. Like what's wrong? Is it management? Is it the people? Is it don't they get funded enough? Like what's happening?
I just want to say one thing. I just want to say something. Remember when people say that this is Skyrim in space? You know what? I'm gonna give them their flowers, because this definitely looks like Skyrim in space, from graphical fidelity to performance. To
I definitely have more Fallout vibes than Skyrim.
no,
But yeah,
I mean, no, they wanna sell this exploration so much, right? Which, in my opinion, Skyrim had more exploration than Fallout. Can offer more exploration than Fallout, and you have more freedom in Skyrim, in my opinion, compared to Fallout. That's why I kind of understood the Skyrim in space, fantasy that people had, and it turned out to be correct, but in the worst way possible. It really looks like the next Skyrim. Well, the thing that we're gonna find out is, because this is Bethesda, right? Like I said, they have a big hardcore fan base. The game can be buggy as fuck, people will still play it, because that's how much these people love Bethesda. And so even if the game looks like this or plays like this, I really think this game is still has this big chance to be successful, because it's riding on its fan base. That's like the foundation of Bethesda right now. They have this foundation that they built, and they are riding on that fan base. And they're trying to get new people into it, but their core foundation will always be this big gigantic fan base that's going to play whatever they fucking make. It's like a Kojima for in the West. It's kind of like how it is. It's not like, I mean, Naughty Dog is kind of like that, but the difference is Naughty Dog makes great games. Right? Naughty Dog makes great games, but Bethesda offers this, they have this offering of exploration and freedom, and that some people love that shit so much. Like they would not care about gameplay or story as long as they can explore and discover. And it's kind of like what Bethesda games are very good at. And that's why, especially with Starfield, they want to target 1,000 planets. That's to a Bethesda fan.
The thing with me, go on, sorry, and go on. Who was speaking then?
Yeah, but I'm still so confused, and I still can't believe
we're not
nothing.
Bethesda fans.
Like nothing that I've seen from the Xbox brand in general this generation has even come close. Even couldn't even scratch the surface that on the foundation that PlayStation has built. Because it seems to me that PlayStation, with the PS5, that they, with the games that they've shown and with the games that they've released thus far, that they really wanted to make the most and give the most, make the most out of it, and give it all that they could. Games like Ratchet and Clank, Demon's Souls remake, Returnal, like those are all amazing looking titles and great titles. Like they I don't want to say use the most of the hardware, because people are still trying to understand and learn the hardware, but you see that they do really use and they do really utilize those new tools on their disposal. While with Xbox, I really want to give you guys a chance, but I'm seeing this, and all I have is confusion. All I have is confusion. I'm lost in words, honestly.
The thing with me, Wilhelm, is that I really want to be excited for this game. but there's just too much that I've seen in this game that I've seen in other games, especially like No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous. There's not much going for this game that sets it apart. And they didn't show entering the planet, so planet like accessing planets in a seamless dynamic way, and I don't think they're going to do that. I think everything's going to be by loading screen, because they showed the menu navigating the planets and the systems, so it'll be like you warp to the systems a bit like No Man's Sky, but then you also warp to the planets from space. I can't put my money on that, but I'm not holding my breath. And on top of that, this though I love Fallout and I love Skyrim. I think they're incredible games. I really do. Especially for their time, the reward, the explorative reward that comes from Fallout is second to none. Though Skyrim's arguably a bit repetitive, but it's the character customization in terms of your powers and abilities that makes Skyrim so fun and rewarding. The problem with this is not original territory, and it's got there are so many games that have done this before, and it is just, to me, like, look at this menu navigating the systems. I would put my money on that this is how you access the planets, and it's not going to, it's kind of very, what's the word, Mass Effect style, right?
So I want to. Sorry, go ahead.
And with that being said, there are other games that just do this as well, and with if planetary exploration, where it's as wide as a ocean but as shallow as a puddle, just slightly less shallow than No Man's Sky, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that this is going to have the depth that Fallout has in the worlds that you explore.
I tried to give Xbox, I tried to give Microsoft a shot there, but at the end of the day, I still care more about an unfinished build from the 2000s than anything new that they've shown.
So I wanna say this right about the showcase, because there's been a few amusing things for me, in the showcase at the start, right? So first off was Sarah Bond's speech was amusing to me, because she literally admitted that it was their first time to show as much gameplay in showcase than they ever had, which is really true.
Mm-hmm.
They acknowledged that they didn't show proper, not a lot of gameplay before. They acknowledged the criticism. It was amusing to me. And the second thing amusing to me was this. They said, these will be the games that you will play in the next 12 months, right? It is worded like that because they want to hide the fact that there's no first party games for 2022. Mm-hmm. That's why they worded it like that. Again, man, Microsoft is so clever with their PR talk. If you are not paying attention, if you're not critically thinking, you're going to fall for it.
Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't even call them clever. I'd just say that it's convenient. What they say is very convenient for fanboys to go, yeah, that's right, yeah, that absolutely.
The third thing was the third thing clever. Well, I mean, in my opinion, the third amusing thing for me was every single game right after the trailer. Of course, you get this big ass banner of day one on Game Pass, right? Every time. Like you see that more. Like if you put all of that, like all of that from the trailer, I'm sure you can make like 20 minutes out of that. Just those, because they were in every trailer, just to make sure that if you're gonna remember anything, if it's not the games, then it's the day one in Game Pass. That's what they want you to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's effective. Because I fell asleep. But the one thing I remember, though, the most is that goddamn banner. The day one Game Pass. It was fucking effective. Mm-hmm. And again, Microsoft, the thing that they're really good at, and I cannot deny this, they might be, they might suck sometimes at showing gameplay or showing games or too much CGI. But when it comes to talking and PR talk, PR marketing, they're amazing at that. I'm not even kidding. They're good at manipulation, at manipulating people into, into thinking that they're the good guys because of how they word their messages basically.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to Sony is very corporate with their wording, from marketing to PR talk. They're very corporate. They don't give you that friendly vibe or that friendly touch that Xbox does. Because Sony, when they do marketing, you see what you can get. It's a console launch exclusive. That's all you're gonna get.
Well,
Console launch
Sony are
exclusive.
primarily Japanese and European, so that there's no, I'm British, or Scottish rather. So like there's none of that American cheese that comes with their business
no
model.
cheesing.
Yeah,
Exactly,
there's
yeah.
a lot of cheese
Nintendo
with
is also-
with Microsoft.
Nintendo is also like the pretty straightforward. Nintendo is fucking straight. And if you watch a Nintendo Direct, it's so straightforward. This is all you're
Yeah.
gonna get. This is what you're gonna get. Are you ready to see this? And that's it. And here, and they do the snap, of course, right? And it's again, that's like the difference between Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft or Xbox. The Sony and Nintendo very corporate in marketing and messaging, very corporate, but very straightforward. Xbox, like I said, yeah, they cheese, they market, they PR talk, make it friendly, they make it, they give it that friendly touch so that, again, I'm sorry to say this for some people, but being friendly is kind of like how manipulation works the best, especially when it comes to a company.
You
And
know
they give
what?
you the illusion of that that they want to make friends with you, but technically all they want is your money, and that's the easiest way to get your money, and it's very effective.
Yeah.
They're
You
one of
know
the
what
richest
game?
companies in the world.
Go
You
on,
know
Bohan.
what? You know what game actually looks great though and seems to be great? Metal Hellsinger.
Yes. Get
wasn't
in,
on the,
bro.
It wasn't on the Xbox showcase, but I just wanted to have said that it's played the demo and it's fucking awesome.
I've uploaded gameplay, my own gameplay, and guys, let me tell you, Metal Hellsinger, there is a demo available right now. Download it, 100 million %.
It's everything I ever wanted a game to be.
It's so
my
good, bro.
fucking God. It even features my boy Serge Tankian from System of a Down. It's a day one purchase, and fuck no, I can't beat your score. You two do that. For fuck's sake.
Low key game of the year. Yeah, like for real. I'm so in love with that game, and it just watching it doesn't do it justice. The music is so good, and with you shooting, reloading, dashing to the rhythm of the game, to the rhythm of the song,
it's so satisfying.
It puts you in a state of ecstasy, and like this you zone out, and you're just in this perpetual state of thrill, and it made me sweat. It made me sweat head to toe. I don't sweat when I game. I never sweat. Never. The game made me sweat just because I was rocking to the game whilst I was playing it. Metal Hellsinger is so good.
That's the beauty behind it. Like you after a while, when you get like the hang of it, and you're inside the rhythm, you're just you don't just shoot. You just don't just shoot and kill
dance.
people. You just dance. You just let your body flow to the rhythm. You just are one with the rhythm, and that's how you act. You let yourself lead to the rhythm, and that's just so goddamn beautiful. And I just it's nothing though. It's not a game for Lars Ulrich, because he had to keep time for that. Metallica fans will appreciate that joke. But the Metal Hellsinger developers, I mean, we now have our connections with the 3D Realms and the Rip Out devs. Like, you can send us a review code.
Absolutely.
You can send us a review code. I'd be glad to look into that game. Also, it will be one of those games that will expose gaming journalism even further, because the music itself, it's vocals, for example, only kick in when you have like that 16 times combo thing up.
Yeah, the multiplier.
It's sort of like with DMC5.
Near Automata. It's very Near Automata, where there's different stages to the music, except the stages to the same tracks
But do you
increase
remember
with your
that
multiplayer.
you remember that DMC5 thing though, where the music would also just kick in. You know, the music it depended on how well you played. You know, when you played well, you'd hear some nice tunes. So then you saw all those gaming journalists saying DMC5 has such a lack of music and all. You know, basically exposing that they fucking suck at games. And this will also expose more of those, you know, wanna be dudes, you know, wannabe guys that think that they're great at everything, you know. It was will expose the same people who criticize Sifu for being difficult, and I love it.
I love it. Yeah, facts, bro. What were there any games today that stood out to you guys? That any games that you liked?
Metal Hellsinger,
I mean, part of the showcase.
Duke Nukem Forever
Metal
2000.
Hellsinger is incredible.
So again, the only game that caught my interest was that Wulong game, but there's no gameplay. That was the sad part about it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you something that's really mean right now. I don't know if you remember this game. It was shown in Devolver Digital Showcase. It's called The Plucky Squire. That game interested me more than every single game from the showcase. It's insane. That you saw that game, right? The Plucky Squire.
Yeah, I saw it.
That game was from this developer from
can
Game
get
Freak
that
who used to develop the Pokemon games from Nintendo. You know, James Turner. He started his own studio with a friend of his. It's called All Possible Futures. They're basically indie, and they have, again, this is their first game, that Plucky Squire game. That game was creative, original, innovative, and beautiful as well for an indie. And that game impressed me more than whatever I saw there. This is like the bad part about it, right? Because you know they obviously had indies as well, in there. Now this is what I really dislike about how Xbox presents indies, right? It's kind of like, you know, they get presented and then basically they get shoved into Game Pass. It's kind of like their purpose, right? They're padding basically for the service. Unfortunately, it's not them getting spotlight. They're just padding for the service to make it look like you have a lot of games to play, and it gets its own exposure a little bit.
In no way, shape, or form is Xbox contributing to collective success. It's not, they're not sharing the success of the game. They're getting the game to contribute to the success of Game Pass, and that's what's a shame about that. There's no mutual kind of Sony benefit from the success of a game, and literally it's the success of the game that Sony is invested in and that Sony benefits from. Whereas with Game Pass, it's literally just, like you said, padding out a service, and it's not really
Indies.
It's,
For example, right? I will challenge people who watch the showcase if they can name the indies that were in there. If they can do that, I'm pretty sure a lot of people won't be able to. But if they, you know, if for example, if I ask you, right, if you ask you, you know, what are some of the indie games that, you know, PlayStation has? It kind of clicks already, right? You got Kenna, you got Sifu, we got that new game called Roller Drum, right? It kind of clicks like that because, you know, they get a proper spotlight, they get proper exposure. They're like their own game. They're not just there to be padding. And this is something that I disliked a bit because, again, I cannot remember a lot of the games because they felt like they were just, you know, it felt like they passed by the indies. It felt like they passed by, and I can't remember any of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, they all kind of blend into one. I'm gutted that they didn't show more Midnight Fight Express, because that's Midnight Fight Express is an actual Xbox
that's
exclusive.
No.
Is it not?
That's
Is it coming to
No, it's
PlayStation?
multiplayer. Yeah, it is.
I thought
It is.
I could have sworn it was
No,
a console exclusive.
it's a multiplat. Midnight Fight Express is a multiplat. Bright Memory Infinite was supposed to be an Xbox exclusive before, is now confirmed a multiplat.
Yeah, I
That was the
remember
game
that.
from China. So yeah, no, Midnight Fight Express was a multiplat. Yeah, the Xbox exclusive, I believe, was in the Summer Game Fest. There was this fucking, I think that was a space game as well, like a horror space game, first person, if I remember correctly. That was an Xbox exclusive. I just don't remember its name.
All right.
But that was an Xbox exclusive, like I think a third party.
I'm very happy about Midnight Fight Express coming to PlayStation because that's a phenomenal looking game, and I could have sworn I read that it was a temporary console launch exclusive. So I'm well happy about that. I mean, there are some decent showings on today, but they're very few and far between. For me, this game, I'm not sure what it's called. Can't quite remember the name. This kind of Morty, Rick and Morty kind of spin-off.
The Rick and Morty thing, something like On High Life, I believe.
Yeah, it looks really good in my opinion. And like it to me, like I think the graphics are gorgeous. I think the visuals are stunning, and like I love the art direction with the game, and it looks like it's going to be a bag full of laughs. Kind of the South Park humor, the Rick and Morty humor. I can imagine it being a good. So I mean that's something that I'll try out on PC when it launches, when it releases on Steam.
This is my question, right? Again, I said the state of play June 2nd should be the blueprint of how game events should be done, by pacing, by content, by everything, right? Now, do we really? Is a PlayStation showcase still going to happen this year, or this month, or next month, or September? What do you think?
What is that? Is that a question? Oh right.
Yeah, it's a question.
I don't know. I would think so. Yeah.
I believe August Gamescom is happening.
Yeah.
Tokyo Game Show just got announced. They have a really cool theme. The new theme of Tokyo Game Show is Nothing Stops Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very cool theme, and I hope this time they get to make a better show, because I was a little bit underwhelmed by the last one. So I hope this time they can make it big, because they had a chance. There's a lot of games that could be there, that are a big deal and exciting. And of course, Capcom Showcase still happening, I think, in 2 days. I think it was June 14th or June 13th. I need to look it up. And Square Enix are gonna have their own as well, 10 minutes on June 16th. And after that, that's it, right? In June, that's all of it, basically. After that, and yeah, man, if I'm gonna give a score to the Xbox Showcase, maybe I'd give a 5. I'm being generous by that. The reason why I'm generous is because they at least show a lot of gameplay. You gotta give them that. Showed a lot of gameplay.
What about?
I think that's the yeah.
I was gonna say what about OT Retro? What are your thoughts about what would you give it and why? Are there any games that stood out to you?
I give it a C.
Oh, sorry. Just go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm the guest. You go ahead, mate.
I would give it. I'd give it a 6. The problem with this show, it was too long. If they had maybe cut it to a quarter of their best, what ended up happening is there was so much filler content that it drowned out, like Wooly was saying. Some of those games were not bad, but cumulatively, I felt that this was not worth an E3 type showing. In fact, Xbox has had better E3 like shows, so I'd give it a 6. But if they had condensed it into something much shorter, maybe a state of play for Xbox, where they don't hype it up so much. It's just a state of play, and they show Starfield and a few of those other games. It could have even gotten an 8. So, but the problem is, this show was not just about showing games. It was meant to be, why should a person buy an Xbox if they have a PlayStation? And for me, this show just made sure that I'm not going to waste my time. When it comes to games that were good, A Plague's Tale, and there was some other, you mentioned them, it's just that I forgot the name. There was this one where the gun seems to talk.
Scorn, I
The
think. Or was it
yeah,
Scorn?
yeah.
Was it like
No,
that
not
David
Scorn.
Cronenberg? No.
No, there was another one which was cartoonish,
Oh
but the
yeah,
gun
yeah.
was
It's the
talking.
Rick and Morty style one.
Something
Yes,
like something like that.
yeah, I liked that. So it's not that there was not something for people to play, but the problem is the gulf in quality. And right now, we already know Sony is working on The Last of Us, online. I'm sure that alone will blow this whole show away. God of War alone, a state of play, is going to blow the show away. In fact, I'm beginning to think Bethesda was not a good buy. I'm nearly thinking that they should have spent more money on buying other small studios, like maybe A Plague's Tale. Make that an exclusive. Go buy these smaller studios, and that could have added up. If you spent
Big
7
facts.
billion on those smaller studios, they would have had a better show. But Bethesda, honestly, is technically outdated in some of their games, apart from games like Doom. So for me, it was underwhelming, and I think Phil Spencer is perfect for marketing, but Don Matrix was much better for producing games I was actually envious of.
You know the game High on Life that you mentioned, OT? For me, this looks like the spiritual successor to Stranger's Wrath, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, in how the guns have different abilities, and it's kind of a Western theme at parts. Like you have a desert, kind of a Western theme, and also you're a bounty hunter. I mean, like there is so many coincidences where this game is so similar to Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, and there are dark elements to this game, like he gouges out that creature's eyeball with a knife and multiple times stabs that ant in the neck. I mean, that's pretty dark, right? I mean, look at that.
And it looked good. It looked good.
Yeah, exactly. It does look really, really good in my opinion. That for me was like straight away. I was watching Mooch's show. Shout out to Mooch. I was watching the stream that he had with the gang. They were all showing the faces on the show, guys. You'll get to see Mooch, Crap Gamer, even Brap. They were all had their cameras on, and it was dope. But they. I said on their stream that High on Life, for me, is a big win. It looks really original, really unique. Credit where credit's due. But you're absolutely right, OT. They should have condensed the show. The rest of the show, in between the odd gem, it was all literally Summer Games Fest material. Like, the Summer Game Fest was a big bore. People are calling it Summer Snooze Fest because it was just all little niche low budget titles that you don't want to shit on them, on these games. Developers put a lot of hours and work and effort into these games, but at the same time, like when they're all compiled together, they all become this muddled mess, like Akira said. They all kind of blur into each other. And so if they had just removed the filler, but go figure, Microsoft loves their filler. Everything's Game Pass filler nowadays. It would have been a far better, in my opinion, a far stronger show. They could have featured that High on Life. They could have featured Forza, though I've got a little bit of beef toward that game. I'm not going to lie. Retro might have it out with me and disagree with me on that. But
I disagree with you on that.
You haven't even heard what I'm going to say yet. He's straight away. He's like triggered. But sorry, carry on. I'm interrupting. I'm sorry.
Nah, you're not, man. You're just going with the flow. Listen, I give the show a solid C. A solid C. There was a couple of interesting things there, but there was a lot of filler, and I'm surprised because the way they were hyping it, I thought we were going to see more first-party stuff. I genuinely thought we'd see more first-party stuff. A lot of it wasn't even like exclusive to the Xbox. You know what I mean? Even Diablo 4, their own game, isn't exclusive. So, yeah, I think they could have went stronger with the amount of studios they have, and for all of the gameplay they did show, they could have showed more first-party stuff that people wanted to see. So, as happy as I am that they showed gameplay, and there was a few games like Forza and Diablo and Starfield that I'm interested in, it wasn't the best show. No, I think they could have done better.
Yeah, facts. Do you want to hear my Forza Motorsport take?
Of course, man.
Oh, shit. Well, firstly, Forza Motorsport looks like it could be brilliant, a lot of fun. I love the more arcadey style of racing that they're going for. Not too arcadey, I hope. But they showcased all the wrong shit. It's a freaking on-track racer, and they're trying to pitch it like it's Forza Forza Horizon. Like, the environment, the river, the grass, the freaking grass. What about the cars? Not ray tracing. I don't want to know about the ray tracing for crying out loud. I want to know about the physics, the detail that's gone into the cars. And I'm sorry, but them car models are extremely disappointing. They look straight like they're taken straight out of Forza Horizon. And I shit you not, I paused it just before on this very podcast at a car model. And it was low polygon, bro. It was like 7,000 polygons per car. I don't know. I'm just like, something really poor that it pales in comparison to the detail of Gran Turismo. And I know that they're trying to go for the super incredible environmental detail, but I tell you, when you are driving at 150 mile an hour, you are not looking at the fucking grass. And let me provide case in point. Here's a picture of Gran Turismo still. Gran Turismo 7, a still picture, right? Look at that. It's beautiful, right? It's not freaking perfect. You can see some low-res textures here, the occasional, low-res texture here, but it still looks freaking good. Now look at the super detailed Forza Motorsport in motion. Does it really look that much better? Really? Does it even look better at all? In motion? No. It looks about the same. It looks on par. Because when shit is moving at 150 mile an hour, you're not looking at how good the river looks. For crying out loud. They've got their focus on the superficial shit. And people like to poke fun at Gran Turismo's maps that are taken from Gran Turismo 5, and they're not the ones that are handcrafted for Gran Turismo 7, because I don't know, that's what fanboys like to do. Go figure, go do that. Poke fun at the low-res textured rocks, but you can't tell me that side by side this looks better than that, and you just can't. I call bullshit. Gran Turismo put all its effort on the shit that matters, the physics, the racing, the experience. And I just think that what they showed was so superficial. We didn't even see a freaking race. We didn't see a race.
At what point of this did you think I was going to disagree with you? I'm confused.
I don't know, because I know how much you love racing, and you already said you disagree with me.
I only disagree. Oh, no, that was just a joke. You know me, I like to mess about. But no, you're correct in some of the things you're saying, man. I mean, yes, they should have focused on the racing because it's supposed to be a racing sim.
Mm-hmm.
They could have easily went over the technical details in a blog post. Do you know what I mean? Because even the blog post only really reiterates what they said at the showcase, so you're not even getting any new info from the blog. The only defense I have in its car models is that they share car models between games. I know that.
Literally the cars are mass designed in, is it Venezuela or Vietnam?
There's a couple of different companies they use.
They outsource the car models, and
but then Forza Horizon and Motorsport both share car models
And
for
it's
some
clear,
reason.
and it's clear as freaking day. Let me tell you, Retro, Forza Motorsport trailer. Let me show you this car model. It's shocking, bro. Like, I've got this in 4K. I'm literally playing this trailer to you in 4K right now. I'm gonna in 4K go on. Sorry, OT.
Oh, yeah, Willie, I did the same thing after the show. I watched it in 4K, then I put it even in the comments, a link to a GT7 in-game. The one thing Forza never does right, it never gets its HDR right. So it looks like a cartoon. So the environment, the trees look like they are popping out. It doesn't look like it flows. So lighting was subpar. Even some of the things they were doing, they're trying to put more polygonal trees, but that takes away from the clarity of the image. So if you look at GT and you look at Forza, GT just looks clearer, cleaner. So I think they wasted opportunities on things they shouldn't have done. For instance, real-time ray tracing on the side mirrors. That means that hardly is
Yeah.
going to be
Look at this
seamless.
shit, OT. If you're watching the stream right now, if you go to YouTube and watch the stream that we're on right now on my channel,
Yeah.
look at this picture. Look at these textures. That shit is not acceptable. Look at these polygonal. This is next gen only. Jonathan Martinez, who went through a stage. Shout out to you, sir, in the chat. Love that guy. He's one of the most passionate kind of listeners of the show, and he does my freaking nutting because he shills for Xbox all the time. But even he is saying it's pathetic. It's not good enough. It's inexcusable. Forza, he's been keeping it real recently. I don't know that if Phil's snake oil has kind of worn off, the poison has worn off. I'm only pulling your leg and giving you shit, Jonathan. You're awesome, dude. Shout out to you, sir. But like, freaking hell, even he's saying like this shit is not good. Like they're like, oh, look at these damage models. What is this? Burnout freaking paradise?
Well, the damage models, I bet you 10 are going to be swap textures like the last few games were.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
It's not real damage for any of these licensed games because the manufacturers don't like it. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're only going to get a few bumps and scrapes, and like Gran Turismo has the smashed lights and stuff. It's not going to go all that far into damage.
You know what I love though, Retro, is how no bullshit Gran Turismo is, because it has minor damage, but it more than anything, damage affects the performance of the vehicle, not the aesthetics. And they're kind of like, okay, we'll give you the idea that the car is damaged visually, but that's not really important. Let's pour our time and resources into how the damage affects the car if you choose to have that on. And that's the priority. They've got the priorities different. And
I think another reason you're probably seeing lower polygon model cars is because they're using ray trace reflections on the cars.
Even the engine, like all of this is ray traced. It's like, why does that matter?
Well, like unless you see, ray tracing isn't really needed until you're looking at a stationary car, because when you're racing on that, you're not looking at the reflections on your car. Well, I play in car view, so I'm not going to see that shit anyway. But I think it just takes away a wee bit of the. I think implementing it in game is taking away some of the kind of the next genness of it, if you know what I mean.
It really is. Look at this engine. Look at these bolts. I mean, okay, this shit doesn't matter in motion, but the point stands. The difference in attention to detail is staggering, because they want to go for the bling and the nice grass and the beautiful water effects of a river in a ditch that you don't even freaking see from your cockpit, rather than focus on
Wooly, you're right, because you notice what I think that guy did. He saw the GT7 demonstration the GT7 demonstration was far superior, and what the guy did is he tried to see, what can I get over this. So saying real-time ray tracing, if you look at the ray tracing during the game,
you would have to be driving the car and the camera is at your side for you to see the ray tracing. When you see another car pass you, that is a stupid waste of resources. So when you look at what is lacking, to me, if you show me that game and then put the last Forza, I would not be able to tell you the difference. I honestly could not. And that's what shocked me. They just wasted their resources. They shouldn't have aimed for some of the things they were going for. And it just overall, the color palette, it's too cartoonish. I thought by now they would have proper lighting. I don't know. I think Forza is now a generation behind GT. And I am sure when they do the comparisons, people will be shocked.
And OT, just look at the environment detail. I mean, here in this still image that I've paused of the replay, look at these cars in the distance. Look at the textures of the long LOD, long distance hill that's towards the back of the track. That's all low resolution. And you know what's ironic? I couldn't give two shits that that's low resolution. That is not an issue. That is not a problem. And yet Xbox fanboys were so quick to point out hidden away low detail geometry far off the track in Gran Turismo 7, even though some of it looks absolutely drop dead gorgeous and very high detail regardless.
Exactly.
But watch this hill right here, and all these low polygon cars and low detail textures. Watch all of that just be ignored. And this is a next gen only title.
Just check when you see the
track.
You're gonna see a lot of pop.
A lot of popping.
They've got a dynamic time of day, but they didn't say they had a dynamic weather system. They said there's weather available on all tracks, but they didn't say it's dynamic or not.
Yeah, I think it's clear as day. These narratives, guys, are gonna be expose a lot of frauds, and I think what this has proven. Yeah,
how many people are now bigging him up?
Exactly. And Hideo Kojima, look what he had made sure he had ready. Look how passionate he was about what he had ready. During his "Hi everyone, I'm back" speech, what was ready? A freaking trailer that he got ready on Sucker Punch's engine. It wasn't the Decima, but he had not just a Death Stranding trailer. It was a trailer that rocked the gaming industry. And here's Hideo Kojima. Hi everyone, just to let you know that I'm finally able to do what I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and that's create a game using only the cloud. And it's like he had nothing ready to show. He just had the kind of just to let you all know. Why? Because he's too busy making Death Stranding 2. So he's going to find his time to make this cloud game, I'm sure, behind, around the clock. But I think his priority is definitely, this is a side hobby for him, a side project for him, this cloud game.
He did say it was going to be a smaller indie type game that he was making.
He said that he has a very ambitious game that he's currently making, and another one that's more challenge. That's a challenge because it's something new that he's not tried before. And so it was separate from the big ambitious game that he's making, which is evidently Death Stranding 2. But yeah, I mean, if Hideo Kojima can make what was promised with the cloud during the Crackdown 3 tech demo a reality, and he can implement into actual gameplay things that the RAM and or should I say the things that the RAM wouldn't have the capacity to hold in time, but then again, we've kind of passed the time where cloud would have made the biggest difference, because we now have hard drives so fast, SSDs, that cloud would be slower than cloud's faster than a hard drive. It's not as fast as, say, the PS5's SSD, unless you have like a gig of internet. But I don't know, man. I just think like cloud is always going to be touted as this huge, massive deal, but it'll end up being is streaming software, not in-game streaming software. You know the difference. Like that's Crackdown 3 touted the cloud to be this in-game streaming software that was able to do things that the console couldn't for the game, and that's never been implemented. I really hope Hideo Kojima can make that a reality. And
do you remember when they originally announced Crackdown 3's multiplayer, and it was the whole city was completely destructible, and then they turned it
that's
into
what I mean.
Weird, colourful block shooting simulator. It was ridiculous. If they had pulled that off at the time, I think they'd be in a better position now than they are now. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that looked impressive as hell. And if they could have got that working, I think a lot of people would have jumped into that.
I really want to know what Zuby Tech's thoughts on Hideo Kojima's cloud project is, and the potential of it, and what he will do with it. I don't know if he wants to jump on, but I'd love to hear Zuby kind of give his rundown, because Zuby specializes in cloud technology. He knows a lot about it. He's done a huge amount of research on it. So Zuby, if you're listening, bro, jump in and tell us what do you think Hideo Kojima can do with the Xbox's cloud capabilities, because that would be awesome to hear from you. We have Toolman. Go on, Wilhelm. Sorry.
But what about my score of the showcase?
Definitely. I want to know your score, Wilhelm, of course. Sorry for my rant about Forza.
Well, you know, some shows are, well, you remember the legendary Konami E3 disaster?
Mm-hmm.
That one was at least entertaining. With that one, I just give it my final rating of where the fuck was Quake out of 10.
Where the fuck was Quake out of 10? I love it. Spitting facts, boss man. Where was Wolfenstein 3?
Wolfenstein as
Oh,
well, dude.
damn. Like, where are these games, bro? Where were these games? Toolman, how are you, bud? Toolman, are you there? You're very quiet. I can't hear you. Perhaps go to your audio settings in Discord and make sure that your input is correct. I'm gonna turn your volume up as well. Try speaking now.
All right, can you hear me?
Now I can. Yeah. Hey up, brother. Yeah, you good?
All right.
How are you? You okay?
Yeah. You
Good.
can hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you now, brother.
Okay. It's been a while since I've
It's good to see you. It's good to have you on the show again, bro. It's been a while, yeah.
appreciate the invitation to jump in for a minute.
No, it's a pleasure.
Oh my God, you know what? I got to rant for a few minutes, and I agree with a lot of the points. I want to go with what OT said earlier about Bethesda, about it being a mistake. Now, whether it was a mistake or not, but his thoughts on that Insomniac, he would pick Insomniac over Bethesda any day, and I would have to agree with that. I mean, my God, Insomniac can make all this stuff and put it out, and Bethesda, you're still waiting. And I think right before you went live, I seen a thing on Twitter that Salty had put up on there about 12 years, whatever it was, however many years, 25 years and 12 teraflops, and this is what you get. It's got the face of that NPC lady. I mean, it looks exactly the same as something from 10 years ago. I don't get what the hell is going on over there at Xbox. I mean, I don't know if you all noticed, but if you watch these developers from Xbox anymore, it seems like they pretty much just got the crap kicked out of them. It's just like more or less, Xbox is telling them, you just get out there and say what we tell you to say, and it's just like, I don't get how you can have 35, 36 studios come the middle of next year and not be able to show anything for this stuff. And I don't think it's the developers. We talked about this before. It's not the damn developers. There's a lot of talent over there. but the management, I don't know what the hell they're doing, what the focus is. Oh, well, I know what the focus is because during this whole damn thing, you can sit there and watch even a TV ad in the game. That was one of the things in the presentation that talks about Game Pass, Game Pass, get it on Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. And I'm like, dear God, just shut up about Game Pass already. We know that's what this is all about, and it's just frustrating. And yeah, the last time I was on there, Wooly, with you, we talked about I had a Series S and I sold it. So I ended up getting a Series X. I'm like, well, I'm never going to know what it's like unless I buy one. So I finally got the option to buy one, and I've hardly turned it on. You know what I've played on there most if I do turn it on?
Emulator.
You know what I play? 2K22. That's what I play on there.
It's a sad state of affairs, man.
I just don't get it.
I'm sorry. Look at this racing right now. It's driving no different to Forza Horizon. Like, I'm not seeing that it's Forza Horizon just condensed into a track. From the car models to.
Let me push back on that. They do have two different handling models. They do.
Yeah, they have simulation and arcade, right?
Yeah. It's literally the two different games have two different types of the physics engine.
Okay.
I know that. I know it might not sound much, but it does make a bit of a difference. Forza Motorsport definitely plays closer to Gran Turismo than it does Horizon, whatever it's called, Horizon series. It plays more closer to Gran Turismo. You do have to be more wary of your braking zones and your tires and stuff like that. Still not as in depth as Gran Turismo, but it's definitely closer to GT than it would be Horizon.
Yeah, I remember playing Forza Motorsport. Was it 5 or 7 on Xbox One when it first launched?
Motorsport 7.
So yeah, I remember Forza. Yeah, Forza Motorsport. What's that? Forza Motorsport 7 was definitely.
Yeah, that was the worst one for me in the series. I'll be honest with you. I was most disappointed with that one. Just because the cars felt so floaty. They didn't feel like they were grounded to the track, and it just put me off the game. I'll be honest. I can't lie that. You know what I mean?
Zubitex just responded to my question. He's being shy today. He's not jumping on, but he did grace us with a beautifully written comment. Basically, you can stream in assets on the fly, potentially down the line when speeds go fast, streaming worlds as you traverse the world, game changer on the cloud. So basically an internet SSD. Yeah, I thought as much. And then it says, it is truly the essence of the word dynamic world. You can run a game on anywhere if it has a browser. AI can be a massive tool. That's really cool to know. I do. If there's anyone who can make that original vision that Crackdown 3 devs had using the cloud, because that's exactly what devs were hoping the cloud would do for Crackdown 3, right? That if there's anyone who can make that a reality, it's Hideo Kojima. Go on, OT. Sorry, brother.
Hey, sorry guys. I'm gonna have to leave. But I just wanted to say, Hideo Kojima has had this common theme of connection. Even from the time of MGS2 to Death Stranding, there's a connection theme. I'm just wondering if the title he's making is not so much focused on consoles. It might be something about even something on your phone, and we are all playing this game through our phone. We're all connected somehow. It just, I think it might be way out of the box, that it's not limited to the console. So I think the streaming of him using Microsoft servers might indicate this thing.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, it might be something different.
Mate, I hope so. Either way, I am excited. I'm excited about what Xbox are creating with Hideo Kojima. It's easy to kind of mock and hate and go, oh, it's a niche little cloud game. Just remember who this guy is, guys, all right? This is Hideo Kojima. He doesn't do half-hearted things. He puts his heart and soul into everything he does, and everything he does, he touches shit and it turns to gold, right? So Xbox, they're currently, they've been a bit of a big turd. They've now got one of the best minds in the gaming industry doing something for them. That's a big freaking deal. Also, Jonathan Martinez said a really good point that Phil Spencer mentioned how he's proud of his partnership with Japan, that Japanese are important to Xbox. Let's hope this is the start of more things to come. Not only have they got that Woshu game, I think it's called, sorry if I butchered it, Akira, they've also got Hideo Kojima, and they've got Persona, being ported over. This is definitely showing intent, and if they currently haven't got many partnerships in Japan, this could very much be a bit of a love letter and go, guys, we do value you. As you can see, we really want to work with Japan more. Let's make Japan and Xbox a thing. And who knows, it might happen. I certainly hope so. It can only be a good thing for Xbox if that does happen. OT brother, as always, mate, it's always an honour and a pleasure to have your wise, beautiful butt on this panel. And yeah, we love you, brother. And
take care, guys.
Take care.
Thanks. This was definitely. I'll make sure in the morning I listen to the rest of this. I just check Twitter to see, because Twitter is on fire right now. Looking at Tim Dog and all these, I think Smooth is the only guy who's being honest. But it's fire. So take care, guys.
Take care, brother. Bye. OT and his super dad duties. Gotta love him. Anyway, guys, I've spoken enough. You carry on, and then we've got one more topic to talk about after Bethesda Showcase that I really want your opinion on. But carry on. Was there somebody that was in the train of thought, Toolman? Were you speaking about how things are going?
No, I was just ranting and stuff.
Sorry, brother.
But if you go back to last year's showcase, I think they did a good job with that one. I think that was a lot better showcase than it was this year. I mean,
I agree.
Basically, the fact that they showed games, they showed new things coming. It was just one after another. There was minimal talking for the most part, and it kept the hype level going. But I don't know. I was even watching RDX had a thing afterwards, and I was in the chat listening to their thing. Even Dealer himself was going on with a lot of stuff I thought about the show. A lot of that stuff didn't interest me, and he even said himself, he's like, why is this stuff in here? Why does it even need to be in here? Why are you even showing it?
Really?
This makes no sense. He was saying that, and he's like, why is this here? You could do this on the 14th or something, or just do it in a Twitter blog or something. He goes, why is this here? And there was the one about the Riot games, for the PC mobile, for all the, the whole series of the League of Legends and all that stuff. And he's like, why is that stuff even here? Why are they even showing that? But he said that about several different things. And he's like, one of you all made the comment that he made the same exact comment. He goes, why is the showcase this long if this is what you're going to show? He said, just condense it down and show the stuff that people want. And that way it'll pace it better instead of showing all this crap that we don't want to really care about. So I thought that was kind of interesting myself.
Well, shout out to him. Let's hope Xbox don't block him and remove him as a
right.
ambassador. Flipping out. Treading on dangerous water there, my guy. Freaking hell. Shout out to Dealer Gaming for keeping it real for once in his life.
Yeah, I mean,
go on, Toolman.
You go to the PlayStation showcase that we had last week. And, 30 minutes, and it was just boom, boom. Pacing was good, one after another. And there was a few indie things. There's some stuff not everybody's going to, care for as much, some of the stuff. But I pretty much liked everything that was in that one. And it started off good, it ended good. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it was just one thing after another. And, I don't know, PlayStation, they just got it down. I mean, they're good about that. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But Japan. They're just good at raising that hype level, and but also raising it, but also delivering on it. Where Microsoft is really lacking in both of them.
Mm-hmm.
They can do it at times, but it's not a consistent thing. And I don't know. This just seems like just keep. I don't know. It's like a lot of people that switched over to PlayStation and said, "I'm done." How many more times is a lot of these people going to have to hear this where they're just like, all right, I'm tired of being strung along with this crap? I don't know.
I agree. I mean, expectations were through the roof for this showcase because people have kept making excuses for Xbox. It's constantly right. It's all or nothing now. If they don't show 5 first-party games in development, no, what they gave you was Redfall and Starfield, and that's it. And you can't tell me that Starfield looks like the groundbreaking, most ambitious game RPG in the last 20 years. Star Citizen is doing what that game isn't doing. No Man's Sky has multiplayer. That game doesn't. It also has procedural generation like that game. It has millions of more planets, though I would argue that quality is far more important than quantity. And I would much rather go for 1,000 planets. I'd go for 100 planets of vastly superior density and detail and interesting things to do than a quadrillion planets in the vein of No Man's Sky. I don't want to shit on that game, but there's only so much an algorithm can do, but nevertheless, you got freighters. You can customize your ship now. You know that you've got base building. Like, I'm really ambitious. You can create cities. You can create communities now. 16-player multiplayer. Like, there's so much you can do in No Man's Sky. You can go on expeditions and earn loot. It's like a looter where you get better loot for and really kind of unique upgrades to your weapons and stuff if you successfully do difficult missions with friends. No Man's Sky has so much going for it. What concerns me with this game is it's gotten rid of the phantasaical uniqueness of Skyrim and Elder Scrolls and all its lore. It's gotten rid of the post-apocalyptic wasteland and interesting kind of cause and effect of nuclear warfare of Fallout, and it's gone for space and alien planets. And what game? There are so many games that have already done that, and the problem with me is I'm seeing the combat very akin to Cyberpunk. I'm seeing very limited base building. I'm seeing pretty planets, but there's only so much a Vista can do in a game. Especially when you go over to that mountain, and you'll just see more mountains. It's not. What's actually on these planets, what interesting quest lines are on these planets and stories. I really hope that it'll be the quests that save this game. If the quests are as in-depth and deep as Fallout or Skyrim, then this will definitely be a Game of the Year contender, because let me tell you, exploring and making your own story is not going to cut it. Making your own story is such a trope and a cliche that in all practicality just results in being bored shitless. And especially when you're not making your own story with friends and it's not multiplayer. So here's hoping that the content and the substance of the quests is what sets Starfield apart from No Man's Sky. But that's just my thoughts. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
And this is what is there to say, man? It's I don't understand it, to be honest. The reason for that is you got so many studios, right? And it felt like a lot of them were not there.
Mm-hmm.
They said a lot of their games are 2023, right? However, what I noticed is not a lot of their first part are 2023. They seem to be slipping to 2024 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a long wait if you think about it, because of course right now Insomniac has insane input. I mean, insane speed when it comes to releasing games, and they're great games in my opinion. And the other first party from Sony hasn't really shown anything yet. That's why people are expecting a showcase.
Mm-hmm.
However, those games are in development, right? What I'm just really wondering is these studios, from some of these studios that they own, didn't really make, let's say, a lot of games from their last generation, and they should be actively working on games, right? That's kind of like how it should work. But it's like it's not the case. Like even after acquisition, which I really believe a lot of them should have been 3 to 4, 5 years old now with Xbox. Still no proper, let's say contribution for the brand.
Yeah.
And that's what baffles me the most. Because if we're gonna look at first party in the showcase, Forza, Starfield, Redfall. Is there anything else?
Nope.
Exactly. So, yeah, 3 games from their first party, which people expected more from their first party. And I don't know if I can really call the others third party. Maybe they're time exclusives. Let's call them that, right? The time exclusives, and which is a good step. They're realizing something, that they need some games as well, not from third party, not only input from first party. And they're starting to do time exclusive as well, which by the way is frowned upon at the Xbox community. So really interested how they're taking it. Their brand is doing something that they hated. By the way, they hate time exclusives, right? But this what I don't understand is regarding Kojima, right? Kojima said he wanted to make this cloud thing, and obviously it's Microsoft that's pushing the cloud a lot. That's why it seems like they're like the next best option, basically, when it comes to that game that he wants to make. Which I doubt is going to be big, because he already said himself it's experimental. So Kojima having an experimental game, and looks like Microsoft's funding it. Yeah, it seems like Microsoft is willing to fund this experimental game. So good on them for that as well. So I don't really have anything against that. Persona being on Xbox and PC, again, that was a big surprise. Xbox really trying to fix bridges that they burned before with Japan and Japanese developers. This is a thing that I've been mentioning to you guys. My only criticism, right? Remember that? My only criticism for PlayStation is I mentioned that I'm frustrated about this criticism because I really love the PlayStation games I'm being offered. However, this criticism is vital to let's say the business model that they're trying to pursue, which is this expansion global market. And it's just they make so many moves from different countries, but it is really strange to me personally that when it comes again to first party Japan or Japanese games, there's so little output right now from them. Not even games, just action in general. There's so little. Like, you also have upset Japanese PlayStation gamers that that feel left out basically because of it. Because even if you got third party, right, nothing still beats a first party because Sony owns their own IP. When it comes to making business with Japan, they actually have it easier than Xbox. But like you said, it seems like Xbox is really trying really hard. They're double trying or triple trying to repair those bridges. And of course, I don't know if they will make a first party out of Tango Gameworks. But the thing is, there is some effort there, right? But it's third party though, so again, it's also not fair to completely praise it because it's third party and my criticism for PlayStation's first party. However, I really think they should also pursue that too because it's vital to their global market. As much as people say Japan is still like a vital part of PlayStation, despite of Nintendo being so dominant. And these are all these are my only criticism because PlayStation is doing a lot of things right anyway, and you just need to address this weak link that they have, in my opinion, when it comes to first party.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, with Xbox, I gotta be honest, I don't completely understand the strategy. The only thing that I understood is that the Game Pass is the priority, not the games. That was my impression about it, because
Exactly.
where the games is, they always show this big ass banner. They want a Game Pass, make it, just shove it down your throat, spam it the hell until you get it beat into your head, basically. And it's just how marketing works. But it makes it very obvious that that's their priority, that service, not the games themselves. It's really sad to say it now, and that goes back to the cloud, right? Obviously, Kojima's game is an xCloud exclusive. That's what's going to happen, right? They want to sell their xCloud, and I think Kojima's the one that they're trying. And well, like you said, it seems like Japan is one of the main targets again, right? And so yeah, this would be my thing, right? I think PlayStation has such a big chance to just fill out all these this weak links that they have, especially Japan. The IPs are still there. I'm sure they still have options about it. They don't need, in my opinion, this is gonna be one of the hot takes. I think, my opinion, they don't need to completely bring Japan Joe all of a sudden.
Sorry about that, guys. I pressed audio by mistake. Carry on.
Sorry, I just think that they need to start with at least reviving some IPs. My latest suggestion with PlayStation, because I played Ape Escape recently, platinumed it, the old one. My latest suggestion while playing Ape Escape, and I was experiencing again how innovative that game is back then, but it was still impressing me even today. And the suggestion that I had in my head was, why not have Team Asobi work on an Ape Escape game? Like, have Team Asobi work on a AAA Ape Escape game, because that's what they're amazing at, right? They have this unique, innovative mechanics that they already used in Astrobot that I think they have the experience to actually make an Ape Escape game, because that would be like a sign of their old IPs from Sony Japan Studio returning. Those IPs are known by old PlayStation fans, and this is the thing. If we talk about old PlayStation fans, of course, there's going to be a lot of them from Japan. One of the main reasons, again, why the losing touch, of course, is identity of this is again that's Xbox problem. They don't have a proper identity, right? They don't have a proper identity, and that's what they're trying to find. PlayStation, however, that was my only criticism, because I feel like slowly they're losing one of their main identities, which is from the very start of what made PlayStation big in the first place. It's always been Sony Japan Studio, and that's one of their main identities. And they're gonna let go of those IPs and let them die completely. Then one of their identities die as well along with it, and they will completely lose Japan if that happens. They will have those hardcore fans from the third-party games that they get from, but Japan itself, they're gonna lose it completely to Nintendo if they kill that little ounce of identity that they still have left that's known from Japan. And this is why I'm watching PlayStation closer, because Xbox has that problem. They have that problem. PlayStation only needs to fix it. And PlayStation, when it comes to Showcase, right? I mean, of course, the last State of Play was great. The other State of Plays, in my opinion, they were also they were good. They were not that great, but they were still good. There were still games that were keeping me engaged. And I really think if you what do you call this? If they just keep on going with that, then I think they can build a better Showcase. That's just how I see it, right? And about what about Buck? Buck Rogers said, "Bro, I don't think you need to make Ape Escape a movie game." And it's kind of like it's not. It doesn't work. It will not work.
Yeah.
This is my reason why I chose Team Asobi for Ape Escape. Is because they were able to sell Astrobot.
The problem, bro, is that Ape Escape's such an old IP. Nobody's interested in it anymore, and Astrobot's a new thing. Rather than focusing on old IPs, I just think let Team Asobi make what they want to make, and make a new IPs and move it all forward. I don't know. Like, anyway, people are saying move on. In the chat, fair enough. I mean, there's a lot that we can see PlayStation needing to do. I don't want them to get too comfortable for their big boots. I just wanted to share you guys a quick funny post from OT. Will a gamer Colt owes you an apology? For those who don't know, me and Colt have regular back and forths on Twitter. I find him a little insufferable, to be honest, but that's just me. Anyway, Colt, I posted a tweet on Colt saying Xbox and Colt Eastwood have an abusive relationship thing going on. You praise, you shill, you please, you get kicked in the nuts, rinse, wince, and repeat. Could never be me. Because it was over his Madden 23 coming to the Game Pass day one tweet. Game Pass is becoming unbeatable. And then within less than 24 hours, Madden 23 basically confirmed this is not the case. And he decided to reply with a pretty ridiculous tweet that he almost immediately deleted after a huge amount of backlash. You're sitting at home watching a 30-minute State of Play. I'm flying to LA by invite for the Xbox Showcase event and media mixer. And it baffled me that, flexing your privileged position in the industry because you shill and you get invited to things and you're given things that you haven't paid for, you haven't created with your own hands. You gifted this shit. It's all gifts, and you're flexing that over people who don't have such privileges, including your own fan base, your own viewers, who are also sat at home watching the Xbox Live Showcase event and State of Play, at home on their TV or their computer. Well, anyway, Colt, you don't owe me an apology, brother, because the joke's on you. Sitting through that for an hour and a half, you flew all that way for that shit show? Congratulations, my guy. You know what? You can have this win. I would not have wanted to be there. So, by all means, no need to apologize to me, my dude. You don't owe me an apology, though it's nice of OT to think you do owe me one. You really don't, because I feel sorry for you. I feel like I owe you an apology after that showcase event. Anyway, moving on. I wanted to ask... Go on, Tillman.
I remember seeing that the other day, and I was actually kind of shocked when I seen what he had wrote there, and it's like, he seriously said that in writing on Twitter? Really?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just like, you think you're better than any of the rest of us? Seriously? I'm like, are you serious?
It was literally a gold digger flaunting the diamond necklace her sugar daddy gave her to a woman who works 9 to 5, making a living. And you know, like, it's kind of like you're flaunting what you've been given because you do what pleases your sugar daddy, and you never criticize. You never, you're there to make him look good. And that's exactly what you are, Colt. You are there to make Xbox look good. And if you get paid for doing that, and you get these lavish invites, you are, in all definition, an escort. You're a hoe. And that's as far as it goes for me. You want to flex your figurative diamond rings and your fancy meals out with, all the execs up top in this gaming industry, because you never criticize them. You never say shit that makes them look bad. You always shill, you always defend, and you even lie for them. Then there's no flex in that. There is no honor. There's no, there's nothing there's no leverage there. I'm not jealous. In fact, after tonight's showcase, I almost feel sorry for you. Sucks to be you, my guy. Anyway. Yeah, I was baffled too, Tillman.
He's got to fly back on the plane and psych himself up to
next E3.
To say what they've told him. This is the stuff that you can say when you get back. Don't you say anything negative about it. You talk about how good it was, how good Game Pass is, and you let him know that you're our little drummer boy.
Mm-hmm. You keep making Uncle Phil look good, Colt. You keep doing that, brother. With your deep manly voice. Bless your cotton socks. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic and the final topic I really want to get into with you guys. There is this bullshit narrative. And sorry guys, I know I'm swearing a lot tonight, but this is the Hangout. This is not the Company of Gamers podcast. It's kind of where we are allowed to say whatever the fuck we want. We're allowed to have our peace and just, not follow the script and just vent, including the shit that I just said then. So, yeah, I'm sorry if that shocked any listeners. But this bullshit narrative that how dare The Last of Us remake have the recommended retail price of $70? How dare it? How dare a publisher and the developers price the value of their product for consumers to choose to buy at a price that that a particular consumer feels isn't worth it for them? Is it just me who thinks this is absolute lunacy? Like, how have we gotten to the point where the recommended retail price of a product is a cause of outrage? It's not your place as a consumer. It is not your place as a consumer to decide how much a product costs. It's your choice as a consumer to choose whether to buy it or not, or to wait for it to go onto a sale or not. But we're living in a time now where you want the cake and eat it. You want it day one. You want the product day one, but you don't want it to cost the premium day one price. You want it almost to be a sale price day one. And I just think we've become so fucking entitled. I'm not saying you specifically, whoever is listening. I'm not directing it directly to you. I'm just saying in general, we're getting to a point now where shit's getting just too silly, fam. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on this. If you guys are caught up on this current issue that's been going on. Anybody want to go?
I've heard a lot of people say, because it doesn't have multiplayer, that's no reason to charge $70.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the $70. I mean, it's a totally redone. I mean, they said, correct, that it's totally redone from the ground up. It's been redone. And I've heard people say, well, it don't look as good as, that much better than the old one, or, like the remaster. I was like, bullshit, it does too. They say it looks more like Last of Us 2. Well, yeah, it's supposed to be, looking and running like the Last of Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
But me, would I buy it for $70? Yeah. And I didn't play Last of Us in 2013 when it came out. I didn't play it when the remaster came out initially. It was 2 years ago, I think, when I started playing it, and it took me a while to play that game to finally get through it. But once I got to that one point where it finally started clicking, and I really got into the story, I wanted to jump on and play it until I beat it. And that is, what a lot of people say. That's one of the best stories, one of the best games that's ever been made, and I would agree with that. It was just like God of War. Remember, I talked to you before about that, Wooly, about God of War. It was the same way with that. It took me a while to get into it and to get going. Same way with Horizon Zero Dawn. But once I got into all three of them games and got going, I mean, they're just astounding, the stories, and I just fell in love with all three of them. So for $70 for that, and I can see if people don't want to pay the $70 and they want to wait for a sale. Hey, I'm all for that. If you want to wait, that's fine. I mean, because you played the game, you know what it's like. But some people just like that nostalgia and like to play it day one, and I'm all for that. So the 70 don't bother me at all. But
yeah, facts.
I just want to go on. Did anyone ever buy 2 or 3 brand new?
If anyone buys what?
Did anybody buy Sonic 2 or 3, the game? Sonic 2 or 3 in the UK brand new?
Not me.
Do you know how much it was back then?
How much?
$69.99.
Yeah, games have just gone back. Games have just gone back to how they originally cost. But some games even cost 150. Was it the Atari? Or what? Yeah.
Yes.
150 quid.
Exactly.
I mean, that is a good point, because that's how expensive some of them games were 20 years ago. It's outrageous how people go on about these prices.
Gaming hasn't been affected by inflation, like everything else has in the world, and it hasn't been for years. Do you know what I mean? We were due an uptick in price last gen when everything went up, and we didn't get one. Do you know what I mean? So they're basically catching up, and it's still below inflation price. If you actually look at the prices and do the conversions, £70 or $70 today still is cheaper than what we were paying for games based on inflation. So I don't understand I don't know whether it's just a reaction because, it still feels like £10 or $10 more. I don't know if that's where the reaction is coming from, but if you actually sit down and think about it logically, it just makes sense. And it's no good crying about it because they've made the decision and it's not changing. Do you know what I mean? Do you really think Forza Motorsport 8 is going to be £60? No, it's going to be 70. Do you know what I mean? Like, every publisher's going there. It's already too late.
But it's day one on Game Pass, bro. Stay one on Game Pass, yo.
I like to own my games. Forza 7, can you play that now if you haven't already bought it? Nope. It's gone off Game Pass. It's
Good
not being
point.
sold anymore. Do you know what I
Very
mean?
good point.
So for me, I buy my games. I use Game Pass as a demo service. That's what Game Pass is for me. My family get use out of it, so I'm not just going to say it's just that. But for me, it's a demo station. Do you know what I mean? So
Demo pass. Demo pass.
that's what it is to me. So when somebody turns around and goes, "Yeah, but it's on Game Pass," I go, "Yeah, but I buy my games. I own my games." You know what I mean? So it's no good telling me I can rent it for a while. I want to own it.
By the way, I just wanna. I've noticed Akira's gone. I hope he's all right. I don't know why he jumped. If, I hope me cutting him off before to move forward didn't upset him or anything. Akira, if you're listening, bro, just know I love you, dude, and I hope you're all right. And come back if you're free at all at some point in the show.
Maybe he started finishing the showcase.
I just don't want him to think like I cut him off because I wasn't interested in what he was saying. It's just that people in the chat were saying move on now, and he was talking about Ape Escape, and I just thought this is about the Xbox showcase. Let's go back on topic and on subject. I didn't want to kind of just allow things to go on.
There's nothing wrong with keeping shit on track, mate.
Yeah. I just wanted to respect the viewer's time, but apologies, Akira, mate, if I came across too blunt. If you're listening, and I hope you're all right.
Maybe the babies woke up or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, I know he's a hard-working dad, and he's got dad duties. He's got a baby girl to look after. How about that? Eh? We're all got baby girls. Flipping OT, Akira, me. It's crazy.
Not me.
I've got two.
Wilhelm, you're the show's baby girl, bro. You're our little baby. Except you're not a girl, you're a bloke. But anyway. You're 17, right, Will? Or are you 18 now?
17.
Yeah, you're our baby. You're the show's baby. He's 17, yet he's got more knowledge about retro games than flipping. He's like NXG, but a mini version with Herman Hulst's accent. It's crazy.
Honestly, bro, I didn't realise how young you were, man.
Yes.
For you to have that amount of gaming knowledge, that shit is impressive.
Very impressive.
Thank you.
He knows his shit.
Wow.
So
my head's just been blown.
Yeah, man. I wanted to show you guys something, and bear with me. This is a clip from Big Fry TV. I don't know if you guys watch Big Fry. I don't know if you know him, but this is I'll just get the clip. This is a clip that you all need to listen to and you all need to see. Shout out to Big Fry. Subscribe to his channel, Big Fry TV. I've been following him. I've been subscribed to him since he was about 60,000 subscribers. He's recently exploded, and he deserves it because he's one of the most real people who on YouTube easily.
Messaging Velveeta in Twitter DMs.
Yeah, you got a follow from
Maybe
me off
another
this.
brand of cheese.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
Listen, just listen to this. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit.
Probably just look for a sale. You would probably just look for maybe another brand of cheese.
Here we go.
Price for a video game. I mean,
let's rewind it a little bit. Check this out, guys. Just
I really
listen.
Don't mind the idea of a battle pass for cosmetics. It's one of those things like it literally doesn't affect the gameplay at all. And I know there's people out there that are like, yeah, but they start to cry about it. Here's the thing, man. To get into a game, when you look at a post like this game will be filled with microtransactions, and you think $70 price is justified. Personally, it's a $70 price tag to get into the game. Everybody's idea of what a game is worth is completely fucking subjective. If you scroll down here, this guy really just says, he's like, yeah, $39.99 is a reasonable price for a video game. I mean, great. If that's what you think, amazing. The idea of going to Steam forums and going to Twitter threads and being in live streams just reeing about the price of a game. If you walked into Walmart today, and trust me, this is probably happening all over the fucking place. If you walk into Walmart and you need some cheese, and that cheese is $16.99, when last time you bought cheese, it was $10.99. What would you do? You wouldn't buy it. You would probably just look for a sale. You would probably just look for maybe another brand of cheese. Oh, fuck, that one's expensive. Is there any others out here? And then you would buy one, or you wouldn't, and then that would be the end of it. Would you be messaging Velveeta in Twitter DMs about why they're charging this much for cheese? You wouldn't. You wouldn't give a fuck. Outside of right in that moment, oh shit, this is expensive. Let's try to get something else, or maybe just go without. It's all about priorities, man. But here's the thing. This entire gaming industry has conditioned people to always want the new, shiny, best thing. On top of the gaming industry conditioning us for that, social media is an instant gratification world. The generations that are coming up now, the guys who are teenagers trying to buy these games, they want instant gratification. They cannot fathom the idea of buying a game 6 months after launch and potentially being behind the curve. But it's because of your priorities. You prioritize buying every single game that comes out at fucking full price. And then when a game increases its cost because they believe that that's what the value is, well, what the fuck? What the fuck, Big Fry? How can you sit here and defend it? And they lose their fucking minds. You know, we sit here and we talk about the churn and burn of Call of Duty. There is nothing outside of your brain that tells you that you need to jump onto the next title, right? Oh, it'll just disappear when the next one comes out. You could literally go play multiplayer right now on Modern Warfare 2019, and there are still servers up, and it is still supported, and you can play it for, I mean, at this point, it's 3 years down the line. So this whole idea of, oh, the next one's just going to come out, and so you spend $70 on a game that's just going to disappear. No, that's bullshit. It's intentionally misleading. And I don't quite understand why, because most gamers, I would think, are fans of other forms of entertainment, music, movies, everything else. People will spend $30, go to a fucking movie, and not think twice about it for 2 hours of entertainment because they believe that that's worth it. There's nothing wrong with that. But then they'll turn around and they'll sit there and go, ugh, $70 for a video game? It's super fucking weird. I find that games like Fortnite and other free-to-play titles who bring in microtransactions have skewed everybody's perspective of pricing models. When you have things like Game Pass, who I actually think is one of the best things that a consumer could do is jump into the Game Pass ecosystem. That being said, for the industry side of things, Game Pass is a detriment because it throws what people actually value video games for out the fucking window. Wow, this...
Notice what he just said then. Like, after going on that long preaching rant, like, he was so spot on. Everything that he said about how stupid it is to criticize what I, as a consumer, value a game to be, because you don't think it's that value to you, but you conflate that with what you think the value of the game should be to everybody. That's so freaking psychotic and weird. Like, you wouldn't go to a supermarket and complain that a block of cheese has gone up in to £3 recommended retail price, opposed to other cheeses that are cheaper. You just think, oh, I don't want to spend that much on some cheese. I'll get some other cheese and call it a day. You don't go to freaking Twitter and criticize people who buy that cheese. And yet, like, people are coming to Twitter and criticizing people for buying The Last of Us remake, The Last of Us remake on PS5 for £70. And apparently the same attitude is now happening towards Modern Warfare 2 remake, because it's a natural remake. It's not like a standalone new experience. It's a remake of an old game. And this sense of entitlement is happening to a point where it's getting crazy. And he mentioned a very good point. We are not the only people saying this, guys. Big Fry, he's not into this whole console war bullshit of Twitter. He's an avid first-person shooter, military sim fan. He's Arma. He's Squad. He focuses on video games on the PC space, and he's extremely game-centric. He has fuck all to do with the console war bullshit. And yet, he said that Game Pass is great for a consumer, but it's a detriment to the industry because it takes what people value in video games and throws them out the fucking window. And why? Well, finish off listening to this last bit.
Games on Game Pass for $10 a month, but then they look at a full price game and they're just, oh, what the how dare they? And they get almost like offended in a sense. At the end of the day, look, I think the trailer looks good. If you don't think the game is worth $70, then don't fucking buy it. I mean, it's as simple as that. Coming at me on Twitter or fucking being in my chat talking about how dare you defend 70. Look, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna fucking enjoy it. I'm gonna put a couple of videos out. But I already have people calling me a shill for believing that if a company wants to charge a certain price and I think it's worth it, they just can't fathom the fact that I would consider putting my money towards something that I find value in.
Fucking preach, Big Fry. Preach. That's why I love that guy. Subscribe to his channel, man. He's freaking dope. Like, tell me, guys, did you hear all that?
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
No, I agree with him. I agree with it. Like, I already didn't have a problem with the price going up anyway. Like, I understood it, so it was never an issue for me, man. I mean, normally I buy collector's editions, Wooly, and stuff, so I was already always overpaying as it was. Do you know what I mean? So, like, to me, it's not a big deal. It just isn't. It's like, fuck me, everything goes up in price. Mars bars used to be 30 pence. You know what I mean? Before that, they were, what, 12 pence? Do you know what I mean? Like, you could go and point to so many things and show that it's inflation that rises the prices of everything. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just don't get the big fucking deal about it. And the thing is, right, it's mostly the Xbox fans crying about this without realizing that all their next-gen games are also going to be $70. And you can scream Game Pass at me as much as you want, but that's a rental service. You don't own shit. You know what I mean? It's
Preach.
just, yeah. I just think it's a big it's ammo. It's a talking point. It's something to throw at the other fan base. That's what it's being used for. Nobody actually gives a shit.
Spitting facts, man. Spitting facts. I just love how he said it so eloquently, man. He summed it all up so brilliantly. Go on, Toolman. I thought you were talking. Sorry, brother.
You gonna say something? I don't know how much you guys actually listen to maybe a Xbox-centric podcast, but I listen to some of them. So I don't know how many times I hear, and I was listening to one, I was watching the official, Xbox stream of the showcase. And I had that in one ear, and I had my earbud in my other ear listening to, a group that was live reaction to it. And I don't know how many times I heard them say in there, if it was a game that they liked, they would say, and I think this is prevalent to a lot of people that is really likes the Game Pass model, they would say, I don't know how many times I heard it today, they go, there's another game I don't have to pay for. There's another game I don't have to pay for. That is a mentality that Microsoft is brainwashing you to. Just give us that $15 a month. Everything's going to be all right. You're going to have more than enough games to play. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about the ones that you really want. They're coming. Just play the ones you got in front of you right now. You're good. You're good. And just that mentality of, there's another game I don't have to pay for, thanks to Game Pass. And I'm like, wow, that kind of like he was saying, that's a pretty destructive mindset to have. I mean, don't you all think to think that this one service is going to be, thank God it's here, and that I'm paying my $15 a month to I'm getting that game that's coming out, and I don't have to pay for it because it's coming into the service. I don't know. I think that's, like he said, I think it is, and you've said it many times, Wally, that it's a detriment to, the industry.
But you know what? You make a great point, Toolman. But you know what? Why it's a detriment specifically, and it's like what you were just saying and what Big Fry just said. It changes what gamers, I say in quotes, gamers value in games. No longer is it what the game gives you. No longer is it the experience of the game. It's the price of the game, regardless of the experience. The game is trash, almost insulting and offensive if it's full price. and it's crazy to me the mentality that has become of this this generation Z of gamers, like this crazy generation of gamers that, you know, they've grown up on Fortnite and they've grown up on free to play games, but then Game Pass comes along and basically it's kind of like, oh, you mean to tell me that games aren't worth my actual money, but you'll fork, like, people make stupid. I had a full-on debate with someone today on Twitter who said these companies own billions, make billions a year. Why shouldn't they cover the costs of inflation? Do you have any freaking idea, my guy, how business works? A business doesn't make profit and money if it caters to your every fucking need and charitably covers inflation, doesn't adjust to inflation and the cost of living, and value shit at what you think that product is worth, when others think it's worth that price. And this is what baffles me. The Last of Us Part 1 remake sold out almost instantly. The moment it went live, the moment sales went live, it sold out. Gamers love that game, and to see it remastered in incredible visual fidelity, and people are comparing in-engine screenshots of The Last of Us remake with the pre-rendered screenshots of the original, saying that it's not much of an upgrade. Not only is it a huge upgrade over it in the cutscenes, but you're literally there comparing in-game graphics to pre-rendered cinematic visuals, and that's literally what you're doing. And to then claim that there hasn't been a huge improvement, it's crazy to me. It's freaking crazy to me how people have this mentality. Guys, it baffles my head. Just look at the difference. I don't know what. Hi Jeff. I don't know what Jeff is doing on YouTube right now. Here we go. Let me just pull up the full screen capture. Right. Pre-rendered in-game visuals. Pre-rendered cinematic visuals. In-game visuals. In-game cinematics.
Yeah, and they had them prepared, and they were ready to show them because they're confident in what they're doing, and they're confident in what their fans are going. The reception from them are going to be from showing them this. They're not scared and hiding from this stuff or scared to show stuff, like it seems like Microsoft is. It seems like they're scared to show stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can see it night and day. When they showed that last week, it was like, phew.
Facts. Let me show you. Let me show you my post on The Last of Us. Oh, for some reason it's not. It's not coming up. Oh, there we go. Look at the difference between Joel. That's during that now. That is in-game visuals, right?
Kind of
versus in-game visuals. Now you're beginning to see why using the pre-rendered cinematics isn't fair. Look. Even though it's still an improvement in the remake than the pre-render. Look at the non-pre-render. Look at the in-game graphics of The Last of Us remastered compared to the remake. That's in-game, guys. That's during where you're having your head, like, and you're mashing the button, a QTE, you're mashing the button to stop yourself from being knifed. And look at the lighting, Ellie. Like, oh man. Sarah and... don't tell me that's not a ground up remake. Don't tell me that the publishers and the developers don't have a right to decide what that game is worth, what that game's retail price should be. If you don't think it's worth that kind of money, if you don't think it's worth the price of a new game, a AAA new game, because it's a remake, like that means anything. Demon Souls was a remake. I don't see you complaining about that shit. Well, fair enough. Don't buy it. Wait for a sale. But to demand that the game is the price you want it to be day one, it's borderline psychotic. That's what it is. Anyway.
No.
Damn.
Do you know something that would have been good for the Xbox show? Talking about remakes. Then that's a great example there. You know what would have been rumored here for a while about one of their big franchises, Gears. You know how good the first three were, Gears 1, 2, and 3, made by Epic.
Yeah.
And there's been rumors of them bringing them back out with all three of them remastered or remade from the ground up, whatever, as a Marcus Phoenix collection. Put them all in a collection together. That would have been something that would have been something good for that show. That would have brought some excitement. I know they usually do stuff like that. What it would be like if they're going to be doing a Gear 6 or whatever, but still, that would have been something cool. And that's one of those iconic franchises for them. That would have brought a lot of hype.
Big facts.
Because I like the Gears. I specifically like the first three better than the last two, the later two.
Kind of lost their magic a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Because they've got more of a better story, I think. They're not the same as what PlayStation does, but those three games had a real good story to them that you connected with the characters and you felt the loss whenever, like when Dom lost his wife, when Dom dies and all this stuff, you feel that loss, just like you do in a Last of Us or a God of War or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But they're just really, but anyway, yeah. Sorry, I didn't
No,
mean to
carry
get
on.
off track.
No, carry on. No, I'm all ears.
But, for me, I played through all the Halos. It took me a while. And the stories are really good. It's kind of the same thing with them. The first three, the fourth one, I actually like the fourth one pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I really did like the Gears stories. I like playing through them. It's kind of hard to get going through the first one, being 20 years old, so that mechanics and, kind of clunky and everything. But that would be an awesome, me personally, that's my opinion. I think a Marcus Phoenix collection for that
would be dope.
Would do wonders for them over there.
It would.
And I think that would make a lot of people, and like you said, OT said, and several of you others have said, give us a reason to buy an Xbox. How many times have you said, Wooly, you know what, that just made me think, I'm good, I'll just stick with my PC.
And bro, exactly, hit the nail on the head. And if they did remake Gears 1 to 3 from the ground up, or even just the first game from the ground up, and when I mean remake, I mean a full remake like The Last of Us, except, innovate and renovate the gameplay, bring it up to date, quit the stiff-ass sprint button in a straight line, making it difficult to turn. You might call that signature of Gears. Well, it's time that the signature changes. Just imagine, right, the petrol station section in Gears, right, where you're fighting off the hordes of enemies in the dark at a petrol station. That was so tense. That was so intense. An incredible moment. What if they had it where the movement of the character in game was fluid and not stiff, and you were heavy, but at the same time you could actually turn your character and actually move properly, and you saw this swarm crawling over the top of the petrol station, from around and sprinting at you in the dark, and all you had was your torch and your flares and your gun, and and your lancer, and that would be so cool. And you could literally not just overhaul it, but reimagine it. Gears reimagined. And because I hate to say it, but it's true. Gears 5 is no different from Gears 1. No different at all. Because nothing was changed fundamentally, just the locale. There was a few minor changes and quality of life tweaks, but everything else was the same through and through. Gears needs a God of War 2018. Gears needs a reboot, a reimagining, and that I would buy a Series X straight away if they did that. But unfortunately, I don't.
Saying that, yeah, man. If like you said, man, even if you could get the first one totally remade and with all the updated with all the new graphics and all the gore that they have in there, that would be upgraded. And the first time you used your chainsaw and stuff, and it's just like, dear God, how I think it would blow people away. But
shout out to Buck Rogers. He went, lies, Wooly. Gears 5 has a really terrible story, whilst the first Gears doesn't. You know what? You got me, bro. There is a big difference between Gears 1 and Gears 5. They have changed. I love it. Any last thoughts, Wilhelm, Retro, and Toolman, before we close up?
All I want to say is that I disagree. I don't think I don't think I'm the show's baby boy. I'm the show's Charles Francis Harper.
Bro, you need to tell me who he is. Who is he?
That's the Charlie Harper character in 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen.
I love it.
Never watched the show?
No, I've watched 2.5 Men. I just wasn't familiar with the names.
Charles Francis Harper is his full name. I know that sort of stuff.
I love it. I love it, bro. You know who you remind me of, Wilhelm? Type in Luke Kirby.
Luke Kirby, alright.
And watch some of his acting. He's dope.
Kirby? Kirby, you say?
Luke Kirby, yeah. Luke Kirby. He's a phenomenal actor. He plays a stand-up comedian in the show Mrs. Maisel. Don't judge me, guys. Watch that fucking show. It's brilliant. It's a Jewish family in the 1950s and proper New York, and it's just a phenomenal show. Really funny, really well made, fantastic acting. And Luke is my favourite actor in the whole show, and he plays a stand-up comedian. He's a proper Jack the Lad, but he's also got a Norwegian accent. I'm not quite sure where he's from particularly. I'm not sure if it's Norway or in Netherlands, somewhere from the Netherlands rather, not Norway. But he kind of got a similar accent to you, but he's also a comedian. So I don't know. You just always remind me of him. But,
I'm the show's comedian as well, so
yeah,
I think
absolutely. You're the show's Luke Kirby, absolutely. But yeah, you're not a baby, bro. You know more than I do. So what does that say about me? Anything else, guys, to add? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Nah, I'm pretty much said what I have to say.
Yeah, I think I have to.
Cool. Well, I tell you what, guys. I called it.
Oh, I do have one more thing.
Go on.
Sorry.
Go
More
for
thing.
it.
They were just showing it there. Why in the hell were they showing Sea of Thieves and Fallout 76 and all this stupid crap on there? Why? What was the point of that? Anyway, sorry.
It was.
I just noticed that when you were talking
bro.
before. I'm like, it's just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a rant again.
No, by no means. No need to apologize. I agree. Safe to say, guys, the show for me, I'd give it a solid 6.5. Not so solid, really, is it? Overall, a few games saved it for me. That Rick and Morty style game, looks pretty dope. Starfield has glimmers of hope, but I'm not holding my breath. They need to show more on the quest line side of things for me to be sold, because otherwise it's just another No Man's Sky for me, and we've already got that. So, but yeah, Forza Motorsport, it could be a lot of fun. The racing could be a lot of fun, no doubt it will be. But I was disappointed with the visuals, in all honesty, and the priorities of the developers. Like, they're less focused on the cars and more on the environment, which is very Forza Horizon of them, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't want to sound disrespectful there, but it's just kind of what I observed and how I feel. Wolong looks pretty good, like Akira said. Wolong is a pretty cool looking game. This is it here. Very Dynasty Warriors meets Neo, I think, from what I've seen. But yeah, that's Wolong right here. But guys, it's been a hell of a show. Thank you so much for watching. Toolman, thank you for jumping on as well. And Retro, of course. Wilhelm, legend. Where can we find you, Wilhelm?
You can all find me on Twitter under the @MaximusWilhelm. And Wooly, I also wanted to ask when we're doing the Duke Nukem episode.
Of the Hangout. Yes, let's get that arranged. I will be free next weekend, but I think I'm off on Thursday in the week. So maybe this Thursday, we could look into it. I'll run it by the missus. Yeah.
I think it could be possible, yeah.
Awesome. I'll run it by the missus. Because two podcasts in one day, she might kill me. But she's very much the boss, guys. Very much the boss. But hopefully, I can get that. We'll arrange it. We'll liaise and get that sorted. But that would be amazing. I'm definitely down for that. Toolman, where can we find you, brother?
Find me on Twitter, same name on the screen. PlayStation, same name there. Xbox if you're bored, but I'm rarely on there, so. Mm-hmm. But that's about it for me.
Awesome. And Retro, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, XTSXRetro. Gaming tags are in my bio, so if anyone wants to add me on Xbox or PlayStation, you're more than welcome. Always up for gaming with new people.
Sweet. Yep, and just remember, guys, when you see Xbox fanboys capping about, what's important in video games, just show them this tweet from our gamer B. Shout out to him. Look at these two screenshots. Gran Turismo 7, that ugly ass Gran Turismo 7 that every Xbox says looks like a PS3 game. And then compare the shots, yeah? And they'll be like, oh, but that's in motion. That's not still, that's in motion. Well, go figure, it's a racing game. When everything's in motion, what good is the high quality water, river that you don't see? And what good is the grass? Oh, but you'll see the car models, right? The vastly inferior car models. Yeah, it's called priorities, my guy. In a racing game, you want the cars to be the priority, especially a track racer. If you want beautiful vistas and environments, go play freaking Forza Horizon. Anyway, I've said my piece on that. It's been an awesome show, fam. Thanks for listening to me rant. Thanks for listening to Akira and OT as well. Thank you for listening to Wilhelm, Toolman, Retro. Honestly, it's been a fire show. Love you all. You're all awesome. And I appreciate every one of you in the chat. You're all absolute chads. Absolute chads, my guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know I have. Don't be a donut. Use your noggin. And we'll see y'all next time. Young out.